Greetings everyone, this is TimeRider with a midweek custom. You know, they say the Matchbox number 19D is modeled after the Lotus 33. This is no irony because it looks pretty much like a Lotus 33. Well, exactly like a Lotus 33. The Lotus 33 was introduced to the racing circuit in 1964 and the toy into the Matchbox stable in 1965. The Team Lotus car was green, with a white number plates and a yellow stripe. The Matchbox toy is green, with a white number plate and a yellow stripe. Alright, this one, though, came in the bottom of a box I got from a benefactor, and obviously someone felt that blue was a better option. I'm going to take a page from Paul at Fat Guy Productions' book and say that if some child one day past wanted it to be blue, then blue is what it shall be. So stick around. Wasn't a bad casting. It was, really intact, I guess, for lack of a better term. It was held together principally by one rolled over post. I was watching, I think it might have been Poochie, and he was talking about how it's not a rivet, and he actually had a word he used for it. I don't remember what it was, though. At first, I was just a little confused about how to get it apart, because I didn't want to break anything. You know, these things are not made out of hardened steel. But I got it apart, so into the warm liquid goo she goes. And you know me, give it a shake for luck. You know, the race car, it had a 1500cc engine, and to put that into a framework that non-European, non-motorcycle guys will understand, it's about 90 cubic inches. I'm going to put different wheels on, so I'm just cutting axles. I really don't care. Just don't want to damage the casting. And if my research is correct, they only made like 6 of these things. These Lotus 33s. You can see that front piece on the toy is bent. And man, it was really, because this is just thin stuff. I don't want to break it, so I had to be pretty careful with it. Use a little super glue here, but I don't want to use the baking soda. So I'm going to use this toothpick and just make sure I get the super glue into the crack really well. The last one of these, last actual Lotus they made, they upgraded to the 2000cc engine, 122 cubic inches. Oh boy. I want to elevate this thing a little bit, so, I need to get the paint off of here first, because whoever painted it blue just painted it blue. I suppose, though, the thing probably weighed, you probably mailed the thing for $1.50, so you put that engine into that light little frame, I bet they just flew. The casting was in really good shape, but why wouldn't it be? I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but it's a metal tube. The actual Lotus race car won multiple Grand Prix championships. Having gotten the paint off, I need to clean up little bits of corrosion, residue from the stripper. Hey, if you find a Matchbox toy that's orange, set it aside, because those are the kind of rare ones. And if you find one with the number 19 on it, I'm going to file off all these casting lines, which is something I do a lot. I'm evil. Look at me destroy this toy. But, I want it to be smooth. That's what I'm shooting for here. I'm not going to use the decals that were intended for the Matchbox version, which is fine. I actually have another one of these, and at some point I'll restore that. Now I'm thinking I might paint it orange, though, just to be different. I'll figure that out when the time comes. Sanding, filing. I can't say how much of this you really need to do. The more you prep your casting, it does a couple of things. One, it really makes the end product that much better. It also opens some doors for you. Your hope is to really get it to this point. And, if you get it to this point and you don't have any corrosion or staining, suddenly your paint options are wide open. You don't have to use any base coat if you don't want to. You can use a clear acrylic or a Spectraflame, whatever you want. So that's my objective always. Not only that, they look kind of cool when they get to this point. I have a lot of people tell me just leave it there. I did all that cleaning and I never got around to tapping out the one post so that I can get a button screw in it, because, I'm going to want to put it together later. There we go. All set. The only way that I could think of that to elevate this thing really would be to, do some good things with this chassis. Because, essentially you're painting a lipstick case. There's not a lot to it. And I filed all the detail off it anyway. So, I have a set of... these are M2 wheels, but the axles that I had, the M2 axles, were not long enough, so I had to make axles. And the drill bit I used to size out the holes on the wheels was just a shade too big. So I just threw a little super glue in there to fill the slight gap. And they roll and everything. You can see they're loosely in there. I just need to hold them in. And then, of course, I can work on my little guy, too. Just get the flashing off of them from the plastic. And since the car is going to be blue, we're going to paint his fire suit blue. I'll leave his gloves white. And yes, I did speed this up. It seems sometimes, too, these guys that, their helmet and stuff isn't quite the same color as their fire suit. And I tried to reflect that in the final version of my little guy. I got these, by the way, from Steve Flowers over in the UK. So anyway, we go back here, and, this was where we started. And just to warn all you people out there who think I do this too often, this is going to be another homage to NASCAR. So with no further ado, let me introduce you to the Matchbox number 19D Rusty Wallace edition. I think it turned out great. There will be an episode of The Bench immediately following the video for those of you who like that kind of thing. If not, thanks for watching. This is TimeRider, and I'll leave the light on for you. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around for this edition of The Bench. First up, this Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow that I had on my community page, and everybody voted it as the second car to restore, is done. And you can count on that video on Saturday. And also working on the Thames Ford tow truck. That's probably going to be done, the video anyway, next week, as well as the Lotus ambulance. Those two were also on my community page, and people indicated their preference. And they're both nearly done. I just have some final things to do, and then I'll get working on videos. And then you remember the Corvette, and I kind of decided what I'm going to do with that. I'm laying some Spectraflame base coat on it, and I'm actually going to use Createx Pearlescent on it. So that video should be coming up. And then last but not least, I got this number 69, this shovel. I'm going to start working on that. I actually have all the tires for it, which is a good thing. And I'm not quite sure when that'll come up, probably week after next. But at any rate, I like doing the utility stuff. You guys have seen me do it before. So, hey, thanks for watching. Thumb up if you like, thumb down if you don't. Make your comments constructive and respectful. And hopefully I'll see you at the next video. This is TimeRider. Have a great week, everybody.